Hello, everyone, and welcome to What's the Story, Gemini, the podcast where I ask Google Gemini about a topic and then we learn about it together. So today we are going to be learning about Samhain. Psych! I know it's Samhain. Um, if any of you seen Halloween, like the OG movie, they say Samhain. It's Samhain, and I know it is. I just wanted to see how many people would scream at the speakers that I can't hear you, but I assume that there was somebody out there screaming, "It's Samhain!" So, anyways, because we have All Hallows Eve slash Halloween coming up on the 31st, I figured this would be a really good topic to look into. I am not familiar with the tradition or practice or festival of Samhain, but I am aware of it. Was actually a focus on. Oh man, it slips my mind. There was a show on Netflix that had focused on this and deaths that had happened there, and they were investigating all this other fun stuff. But I figured now would be a really good time to go into it, so we could learn about it all together. Because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, if not my favorite holiday, because I was that kid back in elementary school that would rent, borrow, check out. It's been a while since I've been to a library. I would check out the same books over and over and over again to the point where there were maybe 6 books in the library that were about ghosts and paranormal, and my name pretty much filled up that list of checked out. And if you don't understand what I mean by like a written list, Google it. All right, so let's get started. Samhain, a word that whispers of ancient magic and the liminal space between worlds, is a festival steeped in history and mystery. It is a celebration of the end of the harvest season, a time when the veil between the living and the dead thins, and the spirits of the departed return to walk among us. To truly understand Samhain, we must journey back to the Celtic cultures of Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. These ancient peoples, with their deep reverence for nature and the cycles of life and death, marked the end of summer and the beginning of winter with a significant festival. This festival, celebrated around November 1st, was the time of great spiritual significance. All right, already I'm kind of like into this. Like, festival? Hell yeah. Let's eat, drink, be merry, and celebrate dead things. The Celts believed that on Samhain, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became porous. This was a time when the spirits of the departed could cross over and interact with the living. And to honor these spirits, the Celts would leave offerings of food and drink. They would also light bonfires to ward off evil spirits and guide the souls of the departed. Hey, this kind of sounds like is it the Day of the Dead? What they talk about in Coco, right? Right? As centuries passed, Samhain evolved and intertwined with various cultures and religious traditions. The Roman invasion of Britain brought with it the Roman festival of Pomona, a goddess associated with fruit trees in abundance. The two festivals merged, creating a unique blend of Celtic and Roman traditions. So at some point, Rome essentially owned all of the British Isle areas. They infiltrated there. There's a thing called Hadrian's Wall that actually separated the Romans from the people who were already there. And England didn't become a thing until was it 1166, 1066? I'll have to look that up later. But yeah. So, hashtag fun facts within hashtag fun facts. With the arrival of Christianity, the church sought to supplant pagan festivals with Christian ones. All Saints' Day, celebrated on November 1st, was established to coincide with Samhain. This strategic move aimed to Christianize the pagan traditions and incorporate them into the church's calendar. However, many of the pagan customs persisted, albeit in a modified form. The symbolism of Samhain is rich and varied. The most prominent symbol is the Wheel of the Year, a circular diagram representing the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth. The wheel is divided into 8 spokes, each representing a major seasonal event. Samhain marks the transition from the light half of the year to the dark half, symbolizing the descent into winter and the death of the old year. Other significant symbols associated with Samhain. I almost said Samhain. All right, let's try that again. Other significant symbols associated with Samhain include the cauldron, which represents transformation, rebirth, and the womb of the earth. The colors black and orange, where black signifies death in the underworld, while orange represents the harvest and the waning of the year, and the harvest moon, the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox, often associated with Samhain. Samhain rituals and traditions vary across different cultures and time periods. However, some common elements include bonfires, which are lit to symbolize the end of the old year and the beginning of the new. Ancestor veneration, a crucial aspect of Samhain where people honor their departed relatives. Divination practices such as scrying, tarot reading, and pendulum divination, used to gain insights into the future. A Samhain feast, a communal meal to celebrate the harvest and honor the spirits of the departed. And Samhain Eve, a night of celebration often involving storytelling, music, and dancing. Okay, so I can get behind this. Maybe I'll start celebrating both like Halloween and Samhain in the same night, apparently, because obviously Samhain's November 1st? No, 31st? Anyways, this sounds awesome. I'm down. I'm down with the Samhain. In the modern world, Samhain continues to be celebrated in various ways. Neo-pagans and Wiccans often incorporate Samhain into their rituals, focusing on themes of death, rebirth, and the cycle of life. Many people simply enjoy the autumnal atmosphere and the opportunity to connect with nature. However, it's important to approach Samhain with respect and reverence. While it can be a fun and festive occasion, it's also a time for introspection, gratitude, and honoring the mysteries of life and death. As we move forward into the future, we can draw inspiration from the wisdom of Samhain. By embracing the cyclical nature of life, honoring our ancestors, and connecting with the natural world, we can live more meaningful and fulfilling lives. This is fun. I feel like it kind of adds a little bit something to like Halloween. I can see why Halloween's gone through a few times where Christians tried to get it kicked out. I probably should have done the history of Halloween, and that would have made more sense into these little inferences I'm making. But anyways, so someone's really cool. I really like this. Been very curious about it and how closely it relates to Halloween. If anyone else didn't know about what orange and black stood for, that's awesome. I just thought they kind of looked cool together, but I guess it never crossed my mind what meant what. Black makes sense. Black makes sense in terms of like death and stuff. But the orange part, that was kind of surprising for me with harvest and waning of the year. But I guess that makes sense because of the colors that the world turns when the sun sets. I don't know. I'm just making shit up at this point. All I'm saying is I appreciate you for listening. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy listening to my voice. And if you didn't like my singing in the beginning, I'm sorry. Sometimes you just gotta let it go, you know? Just let it fly. This has been What's the Story, Gemini?